Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Round number 7. Circuit de Paul Ricard in France. XEL with GTMR bringing the Ford versus Ferrari versus series. Every Sunday at this time, round number 7. Championships kind of tight at the top. A couple drivers have set themselves up, but we've got Assetto Corsa Competizione, round 7. Welcome all. Let's get into the server here and get things kicking. Good. Okay, things are working. Had to make one little minor adjustment there. What's up, Phantom? Welcome in, my man. Possibility of some rain there in the forecast. Let's make sure we've got everybody here. Andam's here in the Ford. Things are looking good. Thor McCooney in the Ford. Freebird in the Ford. Okay. So things are looking good so far. Chris Cross in the Ferrari. So welcome all. Track temp 28, ambient temp 22. Welcome to round 7 here. These guys got about 8.5 to go here in free practice. Just wanted to make sure everything was working this week. Had some issues with the entry list sheet, but we've got that somewhat sorted. I think we have a little bit more work to do on it, but we should have 29, possibly 30 drivers this evening. Maybe 29 or 30, depending on a couple guys show. Of course, I'm not driving. I'm commentating, but welcome to Paul Ricard. As we all know, pretty much the longest straight of most circuits. We don't do no stinking chicanes here. Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. What's up, Croter? Bring it tonight, my man. Bring it. There he is, the number 60. Looking lovely. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody seems okay. Yeah, yeah, I did, Croter. I was tired, a little bit tired today. Had some family stuff going on. I was out in the freezing cold. Came around, did some adjustments to the event, and forgot to do that. But quick thinking by the old geezer here when I was able to go ahead and fix it, so we're all good there. A couple of new folks here. Taya God 2000 over from the PlayStation side, and the number 200 Ferrari out on track. Get rid of some of this stuff here for you. See if anybody else knew. Al Ferrari 265. Yes, yes, driving the Ford. I kind of noticed that on the entry list there, which I thought was kind of cool. Trying something a little bit different. Saber, how you doing, bud? Saber here in this number 73 Ferrari, checking in chat. Appreciate that. Entry list is filling up. El Bambino has made it. The 717 Ford Mustang. How's everybody's weekend? There's a lot of racing going on this weekend, I know, with a bunch of endurance series stuff. Big 4-hour event at Zandvoort yesterday, and a 3-hour at Red Bull today. I know the XCL guys did pretty well in both. I think it was a 1-2 finish at the Red Bull ring for exclusive esports. And yesterday, I think all 4 teams may have finished in the top 5 or 6 maybe. So it was a very good weekend for exclusive esports. Where's everybody checking in from in the chat? Put it in the chat. Where are you checking in from? Other than the drivers that are currently in their car at Paul Ricard. Let me know how sound is, if I need to adjust it with my voice and game sound. Five minutes of free practice. It's still filling up. Harry Palmer checking in the Ford Mustang number 207. Some of these guys might actually be out on track. Now, Croter's in the pits. Saber's out on track. A little screen time for Croter. Or Saber, I'm sorry. A Jiffy popping. Ford Mustang, number 23. With the matching rims with his dominant orange accents on the Mustang. Slightly wide there. Bring it inside the markers. You should be good there. He's good. He's been putting in a lot of practice this week. Really trying to work on his lap time, getting it down, practice it against AI. Really puts in some effort and time into to trying to perform and do better each and every week that he's here, which is awesome to see. Not seeing Tim. Tim RS3 was supposed to be here this evening. Just don't see him. See if Jiffy's put in a valid lap. see where Jiffy is. 2.7 back over 55.1, so 57.8 currently. Not his best, but definitely not his worst. 2:30 to go in free practice. A couple of similar liveries there for those two guys. Who is that? The 32 and the 63. Respect Pappy. And Jay Francis. It's crazy how that happens. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. They look great. They look great. Tia got 2,155.1, the fastest right now in free practice. As we continue to watch the 63 of Jay Francis come around. It's unfortunate he invalidated his lap there. I think he was just letting somebody by. All good there. Much respect. El Bambino in the 717. Got crisscross here. Totally crossed out. The 199 Ferrari. A lovely flowing track here at Paul Ricard. 13 corners make this track up. Again, like I mentioned before, no chicanes. We don't have 3 more corners there, but yeah, it's a ton of fun. Pedal to the metal, going down the backstretch, of course. The Ford should dominate that particular part of the track, I would think, but most of the rest of it in sectors 1, kinda, and mainly 3. The Ferrari, I think, is going to be a little bit better here. So, but the Mustang and the Ferrari both are great in their own right in all different aspects of the track, and any track really. But free practice winding down here. We're going to get right into qualifying for 15 minutes and then a 45-minute race. I appreciate again you guys stopping in and joining us here for the round 7. Whoa, pit entries right there to the right. Round 7 of the Ford versus Ferrari GTMR XEL series. Come on, man. Let's get into qualifying. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 26 guys. Make it 25 with me in there. Not driving. Smiggy looking like twins. Harry Palmer. Let's go on. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first? Looks like a Thor McCooney possibly is first. Yes. McCooney must watch every one of my streams, and unfortunately, I am incorrect because is that Andam up front? Unbelievable. Guys up front, I think he realizes that most of the weeks I don't show a lot of him. Because you're that quick, bro. You're that quick, Phantom. You're quick, my man. Get out there and do it. But he must think that I don't show a lot of him because he's pretty much gapping the field. So most of the times, as you guys have watched my streams before, anybody that goes out first to start qualifying, I'll follow along with them on their lap. And then from there, I'll funnel out and see who's going to cross the line and what kind of times. So, Andam is the man, the myth, the legend. Let's see how he's looking today. Ultra focused as always. He's warming the things up, warming the tires up. So he's got another Mustang behind him in Thor McCooney. This guy here is next level. PlayStation guy. Also just a really nice guy from what I could tell in conversations. So we're going to follow along with him as he runs down here in the back sections of Sector 3. And just about to start his first qualifying flying lap today. Track has risen in temperatures up to 30 degrees, and we're in optimum conditions. So you want to lay down something now. You put a little extra rubber down for your competitors there to help you and maybe in some of your extra laps. But now's the time to set one. This guy could pump in a 53.2, 53.3 by the time qualifying's over. We'll see. But he's going to take the green and head down into turn 1. Heavy braking zone down here into turn 1. Nice flowing section left, then kind of ride the curb. Right, kind of feather the throttle through here. Just got to watch track limits to the outside left. You should be safe and secure there as he makes the run down to turns 3, 4, and 5. Tab of the brakes there. Somebody's knocking bollards out in the middle already on the out lap. That's all good. Keep the curb powered down from right here. You want to see some speed. Just listen to this thing hum down the straight. It's a thing of beauty there, Ford Mustang. Horses galloping down the long straight. Dab at the 50. Keep it tight to the inside. 3 markers on the outside left. Keep it inside of that. He's valid. Dab of the brakes here. Ride it long. Sweeping right-hand corner. Power down now. Outside markers on the left. He's got to get out of it a little bit. He might continue. Unless Thor McCooney's on him. No, he's got a gap there, so he might continue to drop one down here just to put one on paper. Actually, sounded like he was slowing up a little bit. We'll come around the final corner here, come to the line, and most likely, I think this will be a time, but definitely not representative of what he can do. Yeah, 54.9. He's about a second and a half off of what he can do. So, coming in the middle of the track, not gonna hinder anyone, but it is there. Thor McCooney, 1/10 of a second back. Mansour Croder, 7/10 back currently. Bunch of guys going to come to the line. 666s. Armor Kinger coming to the line. Is it valid? It is. 1.9 back of the 54.7 from Andam. Excuse me. Andam did not register his lap. 54.7 was Ty God 2000. For McCooney's, like we talked about, it's a 10th back. Pappy starting another lap here. He's going to be tight to be valid there, but he should be. There's Andam down the backstretch. Hopefully on for a slightly better one at this point. Gowney puts it on pole, 54.515. Times are coming in now. Pepski, 2.847 back in the Ferrari. Freebird at P6, 1.4 back of a 54.5. Checking back with Andam. Swooping around the long right-hander. Still slightly wide there, but I think he's okay. Not what he would expect from himself, I think, at this point. I don't know how much practice he's done in this server and in this track recently, but it does not take him long. Gowney still holds it at a 54.5. We'll see what Andam can do when he comes around the final corner here. Your championship leader. We'll go over the championship standings. Andam, 53.5. Ears fan, 86-yard touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin with 21 seconds left. Missed extra point. So, was it 20-17? So now it's 23-20 with 21 seconds left? Got to be freaking kidding me. Please keep me updated, Ears fan. Live out of West Virginia. Ty God now 9/10 back. He's on another lap down to bottom sections of the transition of sectors 1 and 2. Lost 27-26. But we missed an extra point, and that's 2 extra points missed and a field goal, right? By the guy that just came back from the... Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. All right, whatever. Moving on. We're here, though, Paul Ricard. Robert Racer in P9, Armor King or P10. Let's see if there's anybody coming to the line. Somebody just did. I missed that one, unfortunately. The 717 of El Bambino will put in a lap at P9, 2.8 seconds back. Very nice from him. Puts himself on the grid. Hushed Webb crosses the line. He's still 4.5 seconds back, unfortunately. The 14 is going to come to the line to try to put down a lap. That's Thus, 61.07 in the number 14 Ferrari. Where does this put him? Currently in the same spot because the lap's not valid. 199, I don't think that's a valid lap coming around in the light blue. We're going to test that theory. We're going to maybe test that theory. Crisscross. Yep. And damn, though, in the gray. We're going to come across the line. This does not bode well for the competition, though. Is he going to improve? 53.5 is currently where he is. Let's see if Ty God 200 can do something with it. Cannot. Still 9/10 back. Harry Palmer in the black and white stripe Ford Mustang around the long sweeping right-hander. Power to the floor. Just past the exit road there. Dab on the brakes. Pull it into the left. Mustang's a little twitchy on the throttle there. Oh, nice. Perfect. Coming around the final corner is Harry Palmer to see if he can improve. And he does not. Dips into the pits for a new set of tires with 6.5 to go. Ty God down the backstretch. And Dam. Starting another lap. 53.5 is still currently where he is. He might have actually dipped into the pits and come out with some tires. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's what he did because he's blue on the screen there. Nice little. It's like black, but maybe a matte. Yeah, it's a matte black with white stripes. Looking really, really good. Let's check in with our buddy Jiffy. Not feeling like qualifying, unfortunately. Or he just feels like hanging out with me out here in the pits, which is cool. Sabre is yet to put in a lap. He's going to come around the final corner, though. And hopes, I didn't catch it, but hopes that he is on a current valid lap. Put himself onto the grid. Still does not. He might have been an out lap currently. Mick Webb across the line. No time yet. Thus. On a non-valid currently. Anything else moving up here? Thor McCooney is up in P5. We'll come to the line to see if he can improve on that time of about a 154.9 currently is what he has. And he's down. He makes it 2/10 better, and so does Respect Pappy. Also improves. Go to P5. McCooney to P6. Going to be a good battle there. 0.8 of a second now the gap from P1 to P2 as Ty God 2000 improves slightly on his time. Between P2 and P7 should be a great battle with 3 Fords and a couple Ferraris there. So that should be a really, really good battle there for the race. Checking back in with Andam. A couple more corners to go before he comes across the start-finish line. Four and a half to go in qualifying. Will he extend the gap? Shaved down by 0.2. He does not extend the gap, folks. So that's to believe the start of his laps. Is I think we did go in and grab tires and maybe a little bit of a dash of fuel to fire off a couple laps here. The last 4:15 slides over the corner there. Keeps it. Got a little bit of traffic behind. No big deal. Let's watch how smooth he is with the throttle here and with the steering. Just kind of guiding the car through the corner there, just waiting to drop the power down this front stretch. We go high above in the XCL sponsored helicopter cam as TMX Phantom checks in with the chat, happy with P9. Are you going to stay there, or are you going to try for one more? Only 3.5 to go, so it's going to be tough. Checking back in with Andam down the long straight here, back into the helicopter cam. But Phantom, yeah, very nice job in P9. You definitely got some battling with Robert Racer and Freebird and Jay Francis, but trying to make up some time to those guys in Croter and Al Ferrari and Thor McCooney you can definitely battle with. So head down, my brother. Through turns 13 and now 14 for Andam. The lead is now down to 0.5 of a second. Ty God, we're going to go on with him. And Gowney at 0.7, or 0.7 of a second, I'm sorry. Does the gap extend? It does not. 0.5 of a second currently is the gap. Things are tightening up here at the top between the top four, really. Ty God, let's go back on with him. Down the backstretch, possibly a little bit of a cheeky slip from the Mustang in front. See how it goes through here. Very nice on the power. Mustang ahead is on an invalid lap currently as he just went wide. Ferrari very nice and tight through here. A little bit of a slip possibly there, or it was a camera shake. One or the other. Black and gold, beautiful livery on the 200 Ferrari. Mustang's going to have to get out of the way. He does. Respectful there. Might be in Jay Francis. Nope, it's not. That's the 32 of Respect Pappy. He's going to let him go and then go for a lap. The Ferrari comes around the corner. Can he close the gap? Currently at 0.5. Maybe slightly wide there, but we're going to find out when he comes to the line. Currently still 0.5 of a second back. Andam down the backstretch. Let's check in with Gowney. He's coming around 13 here, and as he make the hard right down through 14. Carries the speed nicely through there. Got you, Phantom. Will they close the gap? He does not. 0.7 currently the gap. Respect Pappy's retired it into the pits with a minute to go. Who else is out on track? Al Ferrari in the Ford. Goes to start another lap. Checking in with Andam. Past the long right-hander now. Catching a little bit of wheel spin. Maybe just trying to set things up. Yeah, maybe trying to just get the tires warmed up here for the final lap. Ty God down the backstretch. These are basically your players here for a possibility of pole. Right now, Andam holds it by 0.5 second. Checking a little further down. There's Freebird P13. He's in the pits. Most of the guys have kind of retired it to the pits at this point, checking things out, making sure tires are set and fuel are set. Andam starts the final lap of his potential pole setting qualifying session. Stays valid there. Looked very nice through there. Ty God is on the second half of sector number 3. That could have been invalid there. We're going to find out shortly. Time has run out. Quad zeros on the clock. Really nice through there. Looks like he might still be okay since he's kind of still going with it. Although he's really pushing. He might be pulling into the pits. Yeah, that's going to be it for him. Invalid lap there. Ty God is going into the pits. Gowney and P3 is already in the pits. Andam at this point can pull the flaps if he would like to, but normally Andam likes to throw the competition a little bit of a bone, saying, you guys want to come after me? I've now extended the gap more than 0.5 second. So Harry Palmer running through the long right-hander there. Dabbing the brakes. He might not be in the best of shape here. Yeah, he's pushing it. He's in P5 currently. Most of these guys, that's Manser Croter to the line. He'll dive it in. Can't see who that is coming to the line. Al Ferrari comes to the line, 1.1 back. The 717, that's our buddy El Bambino. Bambino going to come to the line. Will he continue? He will. Meaning he's probably on a little bit of a heater. Let's see what happens. Does it close it from 2-3? Down 0.3, improvement 0.3, up to P14. The 37 will come to the line. Pepski does not. And damn. What will he do out of the final corner? Will he pull it in? He will. Respectful. Respectful. He's like, yeah, I don't want to show too much here. The Mustang's got more juice. He pulls it actually almost into the garage. Or the weigh scale, one or the other. That's going to be it. Done and dusted is qualifying. Your championship leader, NLR Andam, P1 by half a second over Tygod 2000. Gowney takes P3. Just checking out some times there. Gowney takes P3. Respect Pappy. The number 32 Ford Mustang takes P4. Harry Palmer P5. Al Ferrari, new addition to the grid this week in the 265 for Ford, takes P6. Thor McCooney P7. Sabre P8. Manser Croder live from the chat P9. And Phantom live from the chat P10. Robert Racer P11. Armor Kinger P12. Freebird P13. El Bambino P14. Jay Francis, solid effort, P15 in the Ford Mustang. Rowdy, 1977, maybe born that year, I'm not sure, P16. Chris Cross, P17. McWebb, P18. Smiggy, 19. P19. I don't know. Could have been on purpose. Pepski, P20. Hush Webb, 21. Thush, 22. Sir Killalot, 23. Viper Biker, 24. Jiffy Poppin', 25. That'll round it out. There's your starting grid, folks. 2:45 to go here before the start of the race. Just checking out some of the messages, possibly to see if anything happened. Nothing's really going on. This race is going on without an issue. See if we pull up the old championship standings here on our formation lap. We can talk about that a little bit. As you kind of have heard me mention before, who might be leading the championship. We know it's Andam, but the point standings are pretty close. We'll go over that on the old outlap. But again, want to mention, as I mention every week, this series is brought to you by XCL, Xbox Community League.com. We've partnered up, the folks here with GTMR, a company that I'm with. We've partnered up with XCL to come up with this championship series. We try to run a championship with these guys on Sundays. We've had just standard any car you want, and this season we've done a Ford versus Ferrari season, where it's just those two vehicles are the only options you have. So kind of play off of the movie that was out for a little bit. So we've done that, and it's come off really, really well. We average between 28 and 32 drivers each particular week, and every single day these guys put races on, just standard races. So you'd register through XboxCommunityLeague.com and register for your license there, your rookie license, and your 1,500 points. Your rating points, and then from there you can join any rookie race you want and work your way up to silver, gold, platinum, all that kind of stuff. So once you kind of get acclimated to that stuff and you kind of take a liking to it, there's championships you can join, there's endurance race stuff you can do. So there's tons of stuff if you're a fan of this game and a fan of just racing and having a good time. This is kind of maybe where you want to be. So. But it's an awesome partnership with those guys, and we enjoy being a part of it with them. We got 30 seconds before we start our formation lap.
Stay single file.
Might have an issue here. Might have an issue here. Yeah. All right. So give me a second here. We'll get back into this thing. Unfortunately, the old drive button was beside the old arrow button. Let me see what I can do here. Perfect. All right. In the pits, and I ain't moving. All right, back at it. 45 minutes. Championship standings are as follows. NLR and Dam. 262 points leads the championship. NSR Styles VXR, who is not here this evening, 222 points, so a 40-point gap. Mad Sci in the number 420 Ford, 201 points, not here tonight. Manser Croter is here. Saber is here. Armor Kinger is here. Thormakuni is here. El Bambino is here. Thus is here. So your championship standings, your P4 through P9, are all in the race tonight with a chance and an opportunity to make ground up on the competitors in front. Top three in the standings, interesting to note, are Fords. Numbers 4 through 6 are Ferraris. 7 through 8 are Fords. And 9 through 11 are Ferraris. So it's pretty spread out amongst the top 10 there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got literally 5 Fords and 5 Ferraris. But looking at the standings, and I'll have to get those. Definitely we'll get to those as the season kind of comes to an end. Got a few rounds to go. It's pretty close, the Ford versus Ferrari, with the top three guys being Fords. That's some pretty good point standings there. We'll have to bring that to you the next time or whatever as we kind of wind down. I think we've got just 3 more rounds to go. But yeah, we're going to be coming to the line here to start things off. Always interesting through turn number 1. Always interesting as it gets to the end of Sector 1. It turns 3, 4, and 5, and then it's pedal to the metal. There's Ty God, only half a second back in qualifying behind Andam. Andam, by the way, is taking fastest lap in every race. So, yeah. Respect Pappy. Ford Mustang. I think we're going to have a great battle between, as long as they can get through lap 1 and probably the first 5 or 6 corners. I think we're going to have a good battle between like P3 and P8, P9. We always have our good midfield battles here, but we're always going to have some battles. We keep an eye on our chat guys, Phantom and Croter. Pit rules 25 seconds. Yep. You have to stop for fuel. You can add tires for an extra 5 seconds, but it's a minimum of 25. Got to go helicopter cam here for turn 1. We can kind of see everything from the viewpoint of Respect Pappy. They're holding him. They're holding him. Green, 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 green. Let's go racing down, down into turn number 1. Andam leads him off. Slight gap over Ty God 2000. Respect Pappy goes to the inside to get to the slipstream behind his teammate, the Ford Mustang. They go down into turn 1. Slightly wide by Pappy. A little bit of an issue with Ty God there. They both kind of keep it. Not a lot of yellow on the map so far as this allows Andam to get away. P2, 3, 4, and 5 all battling here. Andam is away. The number 2 all the way towards the back. Robert Racer unfortunately ran into an issue there. Going back up to the group up here. Battle coming through down to the backstretch. Lots of Ford Mustangs here. Andam leads them off. Respect Pappy is now to P2 and Ty got P3. Not sure he can do anything with the Ford power going down the backstretch here. Gowney sets himself in at P4. There's a battle here between Ferrari, Palmer, and Thormakuni, I'm sorry, and the Ford Mustangs. Triple Sixes is unfortunately in the pits of Armor Kinger. And Jiffy Poppin is also in the pits. Man. All right, head back up. Still back to this battle here. As they get a little bit tighter through here is Gowney. Checking our gaps currently, 3/10 Thor McCooney to Harry Palmer. Checking in with Phantom in the number 95 with a battle with a bunch of Ferraris, two to be exact, in front of him. Oh, late on the brakes. Is able to avoid, returns back on track, and he takes out. There's Freebird trying to get back around. Rough situation there for Phantom. Feels horrible about it. Kind of let everybody go. He'll fall back, but he's going to have to take it, and he's going to have to pull into the pits. He'll come into the pits now, probably fix some damage, but that's unfortunate. As we check in with Harry Palmer, it's a little bit loose there. He's able to gather it back up. Gap of 1.3 now to Andam to respect Pappy. 3/10 Ty God is pulled his way closer to respect Pappy, who fortunately for Pappy, unfortunately for Ty God, opens the gap up to 8/10 now down the backstretch. Checking a little further back if there's any other tight battles. There's Sabre, 3/10 of a second. These guys are battling here. Going into the onboard, the helicopter cam. Ferrari with a run on El Bambino. Side by side, going through the right-hander. Ferrari pulls it back in. Bambino with a tighter line through there is able to hold him off. A little action up through here. That's Gowney. That's Gowney battling. He lost the position, unfortunately, because he's battling with Harry Palmer. Actually, no, that's Thor McCooney, so the board's got to catch back up. Harry Palmer's just ahead of these folks, so that should catch up in a second. Andam sets sail, 1.7's the gap. Now 2.7. 6/10 Ty God to respect Pappy. Checking back here, stop and go for Phantom, so I think a little bit of a speeding or speeding out or into the to the pits. There's a battle here between Jay Francis, Robert Racer, and Rowdy, 1977. Rowdy a little deep into the corner. Jay Francis just kind of setting the move up here. Robert Racer's making his way back up to 18th from the first lap incident. Done very, very well there. And the Matt Gray, number 2 Ferrari. As they swoop out of here, these few corners, and head down the backstretch. We're going to go on board here with the Ford Mustang and just kind of see what kind of gap he can close up here. Although he's not going to, probably because the hood's a buckling. The hood's got some damage. Let's see if we can see that. Oh, 100%. Yeah, he had a little bit of an incident there. Jay Francis did, unfortunately, so that's not going to bode well for him to catch up. We'll go on board here with Rowdy, who's got Robert Racer right behind him. All over the back of him. And they make contact. Sir Kill-A-Lot and Robert Racer. Kill-A-Lot back on track. That's Viper Biker is hanging back there. Number 59, he's got a little bit of damage. Checking back up front to our gaps. 3-2 is the gap between Andam and Respect Pappy. That's pretty much a done deal. Ty God still hangs in P3, followed by Harry Palmer, Gowney, Thor McCooney. El Bambino comes through there at P7. Al Ferrari in the 265 Ford Mustang P8. There's Sabre, who's made his way up to P9. Did a nice job there. Gaps are kind of equal at this point. There's a Pepsi at 3/10 of a second back on Smiggy. battling for P14 and 15. Freebird is already he's already pit, so he's planning on kind of taking this thing out to the end and see what he can do towards the end to make up some positions. But we always check in with Freebird. Check out the support the troops. Bloody pit limiter released halfway through the pit lane. Oh, man. All right, bro. Well, that sucks. We'll see you next week, my man, unfortunately. But just continue on. See what happens. See what you can do. Might be some issues with other guys going in, and you may be able to make up 3 or 4 spots. What's up, Rons? Rons, I was checking in with you earlier, man. You were doing some LFM running. That's a sweet, sweet setup, bro. Holy crap. But checking in here, your our buddy Andam is setting sail. We'll give him a little bit of airtime here, but it doesn't get old. And I feel bad, but the dude's just so damn good that there's a lot more battling going on like this here between Respect Pappy and Ty God. Race is going okay so far. Andam was a half a second up in qualifying. Took the pole again. And then a little bit of an issue between Ty God and Respect Pappy down into turn 1 that allowed Andam to get away, and that's pretty much been it. Ty God trying to do his thing to get back up in front of Respect Pappy, but as you probably know, down the backstretch here, there's nothing the Ferrari's really going to do against the Mustang. So let's check our gaps here and see. Al Ferrari is battling with El Bambino as they go down the backstretch. Possible slipstream situation here as we go on board at the front dash cam of Al Ferrari 265. Bambino tries to break the slipstream. There's a massive run here for Al Ferrari. LA Ferrari 265. Pulls to the right. What's Bambino going to do? Will he see him coming from the right? They are side by side. Al Ferrari takes the position. Bambino loses possibly the position to Sabre as he goes down the inside. Better traction zone here for the Ferrari. Sabre takes the position. The Mustang's coming back at him, almost gets to the back end. Sabre takes the position from El Bambino, who loses 2 on that lap. Late break by Sabre to set up his traction zone here coming out of the corner. Great job so far by Sabre. He's works himself now into the lower half of the top 10, doing a great job there. Big gap between Croder and McWebb, 6.8 between 10 and 11, so there's not much action going on there. Definitely a gap separated. These 4 here are really, really battling. McWebb comes out of the final corner with a little bit of pressure behind from Crisscross at a 1.2 second gap back. Thus behind him at 7/10. 35 to go in the race. Strong from Sabre, 100%, Rons, 100%. How did your race go for LFM? What was that for? Just a race, like an open lobby type thing, but or what was it? Late break there from Sabre, is able to gather it back up. Again, down the backstretch, he won't be able to do much, but the Ford Mustang of El Bambino will be all over the back of him, depending on the exit. But great work by El Ferrari. Great drive down this backstretch here to get into the slipstream of El Bambino and pull out to the side. Daily Rookies 45-minute race. They focus on one track for the whole week. Gotcha. And it was Zolder, from what I remember. I watched a few minutes. I saw the triple setup, man. I was like, holy crap. Wish I could do that, but I don't have a PC. Finished third. Awesome, man. Great job. What car were you driving? 4/10 of a gap here. Ty God is all over the back end of Respect Pappy as we join this action. Perfect timing here as they're going to go through 13 and 14 and start another lap. Ferrari a little bit better here as he takes a dive to the inside. Ford tries to continue the power. It goes outside wide. Feels like he was forced that way. Mustang, nice. Good job. Respect Pappy, I think he felt like he was pushed out wide, so he felt like he should be able to come back on the track and continue keeping that position in P2, but kind of a dicey situation. Harry Palmer a little loose coming out of turn number 2. Gathers it back up. Checking back here. Mansur Croter 3/10 to Sabre. Croter doing really, really well this evening here at Paul Ricard. Track temperatures come down 2 degrees since the start. A little bit of a look by Croter on Sabre. Very crucial here to set up this right-hander to continue your speed and your momentum through as you roll the throttle through this section here and then floor it at this point here. You can cut the corner pretty hard on the left side. Just got to stay within the 2 little markers on the right side there. Boom, boom. And you're off. Checking back up here. 3/10 of a second now. Tygod putting a ton of pressure. It goes a little bit loose. He's able to save it. Awesome save by Tygod. Tygod, man. How'd you do that? God's pretty bad. Ferrari Tygod all over the back end of Respect Pappy. Battling for P2, P3. 5.9 seconds the gap from P1 to P2. Checking back in to see anybody else down here. Wow. Tight gap here. We're going to go back up. These guys will come back and follow them. Tygod's going to try to maybe the same move that he did last time. He thinks better of it. Deep into the corner there. All the while, Gowney is all over the back of Palmer. Palmer gets a little bit loose. Keep an eye on the bottom part of the screen here. Give me 1 second, Rons. There's Gowney deep braking down into turn 1. Trying to set up an exit here on the Mustang of Harry Palmer. The 207. 207 in the red badge, being he's a rookie. Yeah, Rons, these guys are drifting. My setup is a dream. Got it all 5 weeks ago. Still fine-tuning it, but indeed PC is the key thing in this and most expensive. Yeah, I've thought about PC. I've thought about triple monitors. I'm a guy that it might bother me to have the screens together to where there's lines. You know, I can see kind of like where the screens come together on the outer edges. If that can somehow be taken care of, but it's a major investment. But if I'm going to look for any type of triple monitor setup or anything like that, in more immersive situation, it's got to be PC. But yeah, not in the cards at this point. But I like doing what I'm doing here. So on one 50 some inch 4K 120 hertz situation. So Gowney goes way wide. This will allow Palmer to not focus backwards but more forward as he checks out the battle between Respect Pappy and Tygod. These guys have been battling for most of the race. This is allowing Andam to get away, who's posting the fastest lap currently, as you can probably imagine. 6.189 the gap. Checking further back, as you see towards the bottom there in P20, Freebird's the first to have pit. The highest positioned guy that has pit at this point. Gowney gathered it back up and he's gotten back on track, but he's got some work to do as his gap's 1.5 to Palmer. Late break by the Ferrari. Deep dive down into 1. There's 30 minutes to go in the race. Got plenty of time. This is your battle. There's no chance of anyone catching Andam. So if I'm Tygod 2000, I set in the slipstream of the Mustang. Maybe try to just save the tires a little bit there to where he might be able to do the 25-second fuel pit stop, not take tires, and maybe able to jump Respect Pappy in the pits. That's an option. It's definitely an option. Enjoying the commentary. I appreciate it, Ron. Thanks. Nothing wrong with one screen and console. Yeah, with the family situation and all that kind of jazz, man. That's where I'm at. I got my own little corner in the basement here, and this is where my happy place is. So But I appreciate everybody who's tuned in and all the comments. 6/10 of a second now as the Mustang extends it a little bit. As we talked about in the pre-race, Mustang's horsepower down the backstretch is insane. Ferrari probably a little bit better through this section here. As you see him, he most likely will close that gap, and he does. It's probably down to about 3/10 right now. Ford hasn't reset yet, but been doing it long enough. I think that's where we are. Late break there by the 200 of Tygod. Probably now has closed it down to about 1.8, maybe 2.1. We won't see a reset most likely till they go to the start finish line. 1.1 is Harry Palmer, but I think that's actually closer. Around the final corner, Pappy just thinking if he can stay in front down the backstretch and this straightaway here, he's probably going to be okay. As you see him extend the gap on the Ferrari, it's got to be frustrating for Tygod to see the back end, the wide rear end of the Ford Mustang disappear off into the distance, only to make it back up through these sections here and to lose it again on the backstretch. Let's check into other places. 1/10 is Sabre to El Bambino, just behind is Mansur Croder. These guys have been battling most of the race. Same thing here, similar situation. The Mustang's gotten out in front. It's really difficult to pass. You almost have to wait for a mistake by a Mustang on this setup of a track, because I don't know if you're ever going to be able to get in front of it with the long straights here. Oh, whiskey ginger ale. Coating the old tonsils. They go down the backstretch. Mansur Croder in the slipstream. We'll go on board with Croder. See if he can maybe pull off a move. He's pulling. He is pulling, gaining. Pull off to the right. Use the slipstream. Saber's got nothing he can do. Croder foot to the floor. It might be the first of the late breakers. I think pass under the Circuit de Paul Ricard bridge, overhead bridge there. Oh, goes a little bit wide. This might allow Croder to come around the outside. Croder goes to the inside. Sabre loses the position. Croder's moved himself up to P9. Sabre falls back to P10. Big gap between P11 and P10. So Sabre's got himself locked into a P10. Just what can he do to make himself relative, make himself scary for the competition, maybe to worry about. There as Croder goes slightly wide through there. You also at this point might want to think about doing an undercut. Checking pit lane. The only one there is a 65. That's me because I'm in the commentary booth. Alle Ferrari. Sandwiched around Thormakuni and El Bambino. Big gap there. Bambino, these guys have kind of separated out. 3/10 is Tygod rear all over the back end of the Mustang. Is there a chance? Is there a chance for him to get a slipstream on the Ford Mustang here? I don't know if it's the case. He's trying to break it. Respect Pappy. Watch the gap. Just, there's nothing the Ferrari can do. Absolutely nothing. In the slipstream, the key is to be 5 or so tenths of a second in it. He's well within it and can't do anything until the latter section of the straight. Very good through there as he pulls up to the back end of Respect Pappy. Will he make a dive to the inside of the long right-hander? Pappy closes it off. Goes a little bit wide. This might allow Tygod to make a move. He's in the inside. Respect Pappy goes wide and breaks later into the corner. Pappy takes the position back. Great race in here. Palmer and Gowney closed themselves up together, and they're making their way up to this fight for P2, 3, 2 through P5. All the while, and damn, my man. That's all you get. We got flashing lights. We've got a few guys dipping off into the pits. Tygod, wow, he looked a little bit tight going into the pits there. Tygod and Palmer are into the pits. Respect Pappy continues on, and so does Gowney. If Respect Pappy can put in some laps some quick laps now and not with the worry of Tygod behind, he might be able to cover the undercut off. The other key here is going to be if they do a fuel only for 25 seconds or fuel and tires for 30. One or the other. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Checking the gaps. What's the best one we've got so far? 9/10. Pit lane is active, folks. Alfarati in the pits. Manser Croder in the pits. Thormakuni, as we talked about, in the pits. Pepski is dipped in. Harry Palmer is in. Let's see here. Tygod's still in the pits, probably taking tires and fuel. Palmer looks like he might have only taken fuel. It is now right onto the back end. Actually, I think they both did the same because they both came in and Palmer made up a little bit of time on Tygod.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
Dipping into the pits. I think Tygod might have been a little bit nervous. Maybe the pit board's gone. I'm not sure. But this fight is on. Let's go checking back in with Respect Pappy and see what he's going to do. Will he dip into the pits now? 22.15 left to go in the race. Let's see if he'll pull off. He does. Does Gowney? He does not. Gowney does not. El Bambino, what will he do? Gowney's got a back marker behind him, which is why we didn't check in with him. That's the 63 of Francis, who was also pit already. Viper Biker in the pits. Our P3 competitor, Respect Pappy, in the pits. And Damn, our championship leader and race leader, in the pits. Both guys are pitting right next to each other. Those guys will come out. We'll keep an eye out on Respect Pappy. We'll keep an eye out on our buddy Tygod here. Gowney assumes the lead. Tygod coming around the corner here. The goal here for Tygod is to have jumped Respect Pappy. We got a front row seat. They come around 13 and 14. We're going to have to see where's Pappy. Andam is off the jacks. He is left. Down through the jacks, spinning of the tires. Tygod is going to come to the line. Will he overcut? Will he take it? Will he undercut? He does not. The power of the Mustang and the good end lap by Respect Pappy keeps the position. Now the question is, did he take tires? Did he not? Tygod all over the back end of Respect Pappy. The board needs to catch up. A few others in pits. Sabre just left the pits. Assumes now P7. This is this is respectfully most likely P2, 3, and 4 right here on your screen. Andam 7.9 up. Here's Tygod again. Let's see what happens now. Tires are one lap warmer than the Ford Mustangs. If they indeed took tires, we're not sure. Trying to break the slipstream. The Ford. Wow, we're weaving down the backstretch. It's not something that is smiled upon. Sometimes frowned upon. I thought the Ford might have a run there, but he's got one here. Will he dip to the inside of Tygod? Tygod takes the inside to block. Through the long right-hander, Tygod to the inside. He's able to keep it there. A little bit of throttle through there. Going back out here to the cam to where we can see most of the action. Tygod's got to face forward and look behind. Possible switchback by Palmer. Respect Pappy could see Tygod just behind. Coming out of the final corner is Thor McCooney, trying to make up a gap while these guys battle. Great exit by Respect Pappy out of the final corner, but we've seen it before. We'll see it again. Here comes Tygod. He will close the gap heading down through Sector 1 and down into Sector 2. through turns 3, 4, and 5. Late break by the Ferrari. We've got a back marker just ahead. Check the numbers there. He's going to let him go. Really nice job there by the Ferrari. Thormakuni has closed the gap. That gap was bigger before pits, but now it's down to 3.5. There's Tygod, all the back end of the Ford Mustang. We'll see what the Mustang can do as he starts to extend the gap again. There's nothing he can do. The Mustang of Harry Palmer, though, is going to make a run here on Tygod. Closing the gap. 50-meter board, dab the brakes, dip to the right. Now, keep it within track limits. They all three do. Awesome racing here by these three guys. 8.9 is the gap from Andam to Respect. Gowney and Smiggy. Gowney in the pits right now. Tygod makes the move, and he's got it done. To the inside is Respect Pappy. Cuts off Harry Palmer. Keeps the position. This is interesting because if this stays the way it is to the backstretch, we will see what the Mustang will do. All to the back end of Harry Palmer, potentially almost touches. I think they were clean. Normally a good exit here by Harry Palmer. We'll put it all over to the back end of Respect Pappy, but Pappy with a great exit. Extends the gap. Tygod trying to get away. Has opened up a 0.7 of a second gap to Respect Pappy. Tygod should be better through here and here, but the Mustang could close the gap. He gets a little bit loose coming out of the turn number 2. Gathers it back up, trying to get there to set up a long backstretch run. Deep break by the Mustang. Goes a little bit inside. Harry Palmer closes up to the back end of Respect Pappy. Great battle here. All the while, Tygod sees it and lets those guys go around. Draken, what's going on, bro? Thanks for checking in, man. Great action here. 16.5 to go at Paul Ricard. GTMR Ford versus Ferrari. Round number 7. Respect Pappy is now 1.2 back. Tygod bought his time. And now Harry Palmer all over the back end of Respect Pappy. Does he take a dive to the inside? He possibly is. He does. Close to touching. Forces Respect Pappy out wide. Throttle. Goes to the inside, and we see the move made. Respect Pappy has lost positions on each of the last 2 laps. Still is in P5. Net P4. As Smiggy, our last to pit, is in the pits finally. Andam assumes the lead again, followed by Gowney. So Gowney jumped P2, 3, and 4. Was in P5 prior to pits because Respect Pappy, Tygod, and Harry Palmer were all ahead of him. And he has jumped them and is now sitting in P2. I'm probably assuming he did not take tires. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the gap between Tygod and Gowney. If it starts to come down quickly, it's due to the fact that Gowney only took fuel and did not take tires. And I have a feeling that Tygod, Palmer, Respect Pappy, Thormakuni all took tires. That's your battle right now. We'll check in with Sabre. 0.6 is his gap to Bambino. Croder, unfortunately, has fallen back, but still in P10. Checking back in here with Freebird. Has made his way up to P17. Crossing the line now. Will he jump another spot on Smiggy? He does. Checking in with Chris Cross. Totally crossed out. The number 199 Ferrari in P16 currently. Draken, how you been, bro? Respect Pappy goes slightly wide there. I think is trying to just gather things back up after losing spots the last few laps. Glad to hear it, bud. Got our Wreckfest tonight. Oh, nice. You streaming it? It's not something that I've ever really played or watched, so I might check that in. I might check in later on. Be watching the Eagles game probably later on Sunday Night Football. What time is it at? 8 o'clock Eastern. Checking back in here. Ty God. And there's Jiffy popping, going a little bit wide. The gap is closing, folks. So Gowney's run a risk. He's thought, all right, I'm going to take fuel, not tires. Can I hold these guys off? Will I just, worst case scenario, top 5 finish? Because Ty God's going to be all over the back of him, probably in 3 corners. All right, Drake, and I'll check it out later, my man. We'll check in with the Leia. There he is, 3 corners later. Ty God. You guys want to go on board? Too bad. We're going on board. How are these guys? Palmer, respect Pappy. Not much going on there. Back on the dash cam here of the 200 Ferrari of Ty God. All right, Rons, appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'll see you later. Late break by Ty God. Trying to throw a little bit of pressure here on Gowney. Tires are definitely going to show up through this section. He's going to be able to get on the throttle sooner, and he does. You see the wiggle there by the 64 of Gowney. Definitely through here also better traction. We're going to see what Gowney can do to hold up Ty God, which might bring Palmer and Respect Pappy into play. Thor McCooney has made his way to 0.5 of a second as the gap between him and Respect Pappy, who's maybe he's losing a little bit of concentration. As you can see out of the final corner, those guys are tight. Really tight coming out of the final corner. All over the back of Respect Pappy is Thor McCooney. Manser Croder still hangs out in P10. Sabre trying to get to the back of the battle between El Ferrari 265 and El Bambino. There's Thor McCooney all over Respect Pappy. The number 37 is off. That's Pepski. Pepski is off. Pepski is off and going to be falling down the grid. He was in P12. Looking really good there, but he's fallen down. Ty God has made the move around Gowney. We missed it, unfortunately. I apologize for that. But that's going to be Ty God back into P2. I don't think there's going to be much anybody can do. Harry Palmer has now made his way up to P4. Respect Pappy with Thawne and McCooney all over the back. Respect Pappy doing his notorious weave down the straight. Thor McCooney's got to run. Respect Pappy lives to fight another day here, depending on how this section goes. Excellent commentary. Tell Chris Cross to put his foot down. Devils, I'll do it, man. Oh, well, in the meanwhile, we see Thor McCooney. Lets him go. Lets him go. Really, really nice job there by Thor McCooney. They got into it, Respect Pappy and Thor McCooney, but he let him go. That tell you what, Thor McCooney, I see him all over everywhere racing. I have never, ever seen anything go negative with him in the car as I sit here and think about it. And I do a lot of racing with these guys. Please don't make me eat my words. But he's really, really solid driver. We're going to go on board here with Chris Cross at the request of 13 Devils. Chris Cross is putting the power down on the 199 Ferrari, trying to chase down the P16 Rowdy 1977. Gaps down to 0.7 as they fall through the right-hander there. Now the long right-hander. Let's go on board with our boy. See if he can cut the gap here. He's going to go to the inside. Every time we join the camera, every time we join a car, we've got action. Tons of action down here in the sector 1 and 2, though, at the bottom of the track, as you can see. I'm going to have to check in with that battle and see what's going on. Drive through for Robert Racer. That's a position for Devil's Boy Crisscross. That's a too many track limits there, unfortunately, for Robert Racer. Will he dive to the inside, possibly on the 45 Ford Mustang of Rowdy? Thinks better of it. Robert Racer is going to take the drive-through now. 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the race. That's a position for Crisscross. Back up in the XCL sponsor. Crisscross goes for a dive down the inside. Rowdy's able to cut him off. Crisscross loses the traction there, and we're going to have to check back in with him in a little bit. Check up here in the 200, the number 200, Ty God. These guys are all kind of battling through here. Going to come up on a back marker. Gowney doing what he can to hold off, but here comes Harry Palmer in the 207. I think Gowney might think twice, but again, he's still on for a top 5. I think the gap between Palmer and Respect Pappy is too big. Checking back in with Thor McCooney and how much pressure he can put on coming out of the final corner. 7:18 to go. We're going to check in, our token check in with the fastest lap of the race, our race leader. Let's make sure these guys don't have something happen here. Thor McCooney is able to gather it back up. He's got a run here on Max, or Respect Pappy, I'm sorry. This is all a setup. This is all a setup for the backstretch. Two Mustangs going to battle each other. Thor McCooney's had some runs the last few laps. He's setting it up now. He's got to be consistent with the throttle here, and he loses a little bit of traction. He's a little bit better of an angle going down the backstretch, excuse me, here. But I don't think it's going to be enough. NLR and Dam. Oh, yeah, he is on track. Lapping cars left and right. He has put the 169 of Sir Kill-A-Lot a lap down. But he is 13 seconds up on Ty God, who's doing a good job, actually, of staying within. He's definitely got pace. As Harry Palmer gets around Gowney. So Gowney's now found himself down into P4. Trying to stay on the back end of Palmer, but I think a few more corners he's going to lose out. He goes outside wide. He gets into the marbles. Is there a chance for Respect Pappy? Thor McCooney pulls up to the back end of him there. This will be pressure for another 5:45 all the way till the end of the race. Respect Pappy's been under pressure pretty much the entire race. If it's not Ty God, it's Harry Palmer, it's Thor McCooney, it's Gowney. Good exit. Good exit from Thor McCooney. He's going to be all over the back of the 32 Ford Mustang of Respect Pappy. Let's follow this along. We'll keep an eye on the gap. 4/10 is Gowney to Palmer. That's going to extend, I think, with Palmer's traction in the tires. Good over the curbs there is Thor McCooney, the number 86 Ford Mustang. Freebird's up to P14. Checking back in with him. Solid effort. See if Thor McCooney cannot slip coming out of the next right-hander. This one and the following. Again, a setup. Respect Pappy. Better through there is Thor McCooney. He will have a chance. Thor McCooney will be all over the back depending on the wing setup. This could be an opportunity. Weave starts from Respect Pappy. Trying to do what he can to break the slip. Thor McCooney says, forget it. I'm just going to stay in it. Might be a lower wing setup for Respect Pappy, to be honest with you. He goes to the inside to set up a defense. 50-meter board, dab it. Hang to the right. He's got to run. He will go to the inside. Hit the throttle. Hit the throttle. He does. Trying to force out Respect Pappy. Respect Pappy has lost another position. It will be down into P6. Thor McCooney has put his Ford Mustang up into P5, but it's not over. Here comes Respect Pappy to the inside. Thor McCooney holds him off. Gowney still 6/10 of a second back to Harry Palmer. You've got two Fords in the top three in your podium positions right now. followed by P5 through P8, also Fords. Respect Pappy drives Thor McCooney out deep. Going a little bit closer to the action here. Great run by Respect Pappy. He goes to the inside. He's got to run. Thor McCooney lets him go. Again, there's Thor McCooney. Just if he has a run and the guy's a little bit quicker, he's going to let him go. He's going to live to fight another day. He's not going to destroy his race and someone else's race. And that's all you're looking for, and that's what you're going to find racing here 95% of the time. 2:52 to go in the race. Thor McCooney. This is the battle we've got on track. Let's check back in with Sabre at P9 all over the back end. Thor McCooney with a drive-through. Oh, no. A drive-through with Thor McCooney, and he's not even going to worry about the slipstream. He is so upset right now. He's just thrown the race away. He's probably going to finish down in, I don't know, 14 or 15. That's just a guesstimate, but we're going to find out. Man, that's tough. That is tough. He falls back in line, just avoiding the inevitable, and the inevitable, unfortunately, is going to be him driving down pit lane at 31 miles an hour. Killer. Sabre still all over the back end. Has got an opportunity to grab a spot, a P8 from El Bambino, and he goes wide into the marbles. Commentator's curse. The 169 was off a little bit, but he's back on track now. And Sir Kill-A-Lot fighting with the 91, maybe, possibly. Drive-through taking place for Thor McCooney. Gowney 1.2 back to Harry Palmer. That's pretty much done. Ty God is extended to 1.8 to Harry Palmer. And LR Andam with about another lap and a half to go. Well, about 2 laps to go maybe. Lap and 3/4. Freebird is up to P15. Let's see how far Thor McCooney's going to drop as he slowly comes through the drive-through. Actually, not so bad. The gap was crazy. Did he not drop 0 or maybe 1 position? Whoa! Tires, and he's already getting himself a drive-through. Already getting himself a warning. But he did not. He dropped like 1 position. Crazy, man. Crazy gap. We'll keep an eye out. No, actually, no. Okay, yeah. Thor McCooney dropped down to P10, so it's okay. He stayed the top 10, which is good points for him. 15 seconds is the gap. Andam has extended it a little bit over Ty God. If he slows up, he might actually slow up here to end the race. Slow up. Slow up. Slow up.
Okay, the leader is on
He
the
did.
final lap now.
He could have slowed up and the race would have been over. But I appreciate another minute and 58 seconds worth of commentary. Wife might not be happy, but hey, whatevs. Coming across the line to take the white flag is Ty God, followed by Harry Palmer and Gowney. You'll see coming out of the final corner is Respect Pappy out of Ferrari. 265 will come around turn 14 to start his final lap. Bambino all over the back of him. Another solid driver is El Bambino. I don't know what happened to Crisscross. Checking in with him, he's unfortunately down to P18. Freebird at P15. Check in with him. A couple guys going wide there. That looks like Pepski going wide. Jay Francis, and they're battling. This is P16 and 17. Keeping an eye on Andam, who's coming around into 3 or 4 more corners to go. We'll go on board with him. Another unbelievable effort. Fastest lap of the race. Drive through for Thor McCooney again. Wow. Frustration has set in for Thor McCooney. Andam will come around turns 13 and 14. This is your championship leader. This is the class of the field. NLR Andam, number 80, Ford Mustang. Takes the checkered flag. Ty God will come around turns 13 and 14. Unbelievable effort. I believe it's his first appearance here off the PlayStation side. He will take P2, flashing all the way. Harry Palmer, also from the PlayStation side, will take P3. Gowney finishes in the top 5, P4. Respect Pappy will come around the final corner and will put the Ford Mustang in the top 5. 3 Mustangs in the top 5, 2 Ferraris. Al Faradi will come around the final corner and will end up taking P6. Bambino, great effort there, will finish P7. Sabre, P8. Manser Croder, P9. Awesome effort by Croder. Thor McCooney, really frustrated, will come across the line and a massive penalty will be hit down. That's 30 seconds, unfortunately. McWebb will probably take that position from him and move up to P10. Smiggy, wasn't a great start for him. Pit really, really late and is able to come up with a top 11 finish if he's able to jump Thor McCooney with the plus 30 seconds. Great drive there. Thus comes across the line and currently 13th. Could change. Freebird trying to get onto the back of Rowdy, but he won't be able to get there. The number 45 Ford Mustang of Rowdy 1977 crosses the line. P14 Freebird. A little bit of damage there, but a solid P15. Crisscross. P16 Pepsi coming around the final corner. Andam doing a final lap around. Didn't feel like returning to pits. Pepsi will come across the line and finish in P17. Jay Francis, P18. So there you have it, folks. Your championship leader and race winner, NLR Andam. Checking the fastest lap of the race of 53.7. Blistering. Make sure he didn't beat it. Yeah, 53.7. Awesome job by him. Coming down through the final order here. Ty God, P2. Harry Palmer, P3. Gowney, P4. Respect Pappy, P5. Ale Faradi, 265 is P6. El Bambino, P7. Sabre, P8. Manser Croder, P9. McWebb, P10. Solid. Thank you, Sabre. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Awesome effort there, bro. P8. Really, really good job. You had a couple issues there. Maybe going wide on a couple occasions. Got into the marbles, but every time I checked with you, you were making up some good ground. So great job there. Smiggy 19 and P11. Thus P12. Thor McCooney P13. Rowdy 14. Freebird 15. Crisscross 16. Pepsi 17. Jay Francis 18. Robert Racer 02. Andrade 15,200. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Phantom, tough race for him. Finishes P20. Killalot 21. Viper Biker 22. Hushweb 23. Jiffy Poppin'. Tough race. Had a little bit of an issue in the first. Timothy sort of saved, invalidating almost every quality lap. I got you, bud. What's your gamer tag, Tim? Jiffy Poppin' 24. Armor King 25. Thus. I got you, bro. Sorry, man. I should have known that. But that's going to be it for us. We are going to exit out of here. I appreciate everybody who stopped in, a couple of the drivers stopping in. I appreciate that as always. We are going to be getting these videos up onto YouTube on the XCL TV channel on YouTube. So if you like how this was and maybe you want to check it out later, I'll share the stream on the in the um, announcements or whatever on XCL. But yeah, we're looking to put all these races up on XCL TV on YouTube, so you can hear the you can hear my voice if you really feel like it. But again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great rest of the evening. We will see you at round 8 next week. Can't actually remember where it is. I don't want to say where it is. I can't actually remember. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. And again, have a great night.